Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you with your Smackdown review on Saturday morning, October 10th, 2020. Man, oh man, last night was crazy. I did not watch Smackdown last night. I had a game, and my team won. It's just a short story here to start the review because it's still in my mind this morning. My game last night, my team pulled it out. Thankfully, we pulled it out 13-6. We won 13-6. Very defensive game. My team has not even given up a touchdown this season, I think. I could be wrong, but I don't think my team has given up a touchdown this season. It was absolutely insane. The referees were literally... I think the referees were from the team we were playing last night. It was an away game for my team. We were on the road, and these referees were absolutely horrendous. They were horrendous referees from start to finish. And my team in the first half had 150 yards of penalties because of these referees. Every time they did something wrong, they didn't get a penalty. But we did something wrong, flag, absolutely ridiculous. So that's my short story right there. And I did watch Smackdown this morning. Good show overall. It was fine, but we're going to start with the WWE draft. We had night one of the draft last night. We're going to talk about the draft first, and then we'll go into the actual show, the wrestling and segments in the show. So let's just not waste any much time. If you guys haven't already, make sure you check out my Monday Night Raw review from Monday, my NFL Week 5 predictions, my AEW Dynamite review, and my NXT review from Thursday. So let's talk about the draft first before we talk about the show. So tonight was night one of the draft. We're going to get more on Monday since it's a 3-hour show. SmackDown's a 2-hour show. But for Raw's side of the draft, they got the WWE Champion Drew McIntyre, who was the first overall pick, the Raw Women's Champion Asuka, the Hurt Business, Bobby Lashley, MVP, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander, AJ Styles, Naomi, Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jax, the Women's Tag Team Champions, Ricochet, Mandy Rose, The Miz and John Morrison, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, Dana Brooke, Angel Garza, and then confirmed on WWE Talking Smack this morning, Humberto Carrillo, Tucker, and Drew Gulak. Now on the SmackDown side of things, last night they got Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, with their first overall pick, Seth Rollins, Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, Jey Uso, Rey and Dominic Mysterio, Big E, Otis, Murphy, and Kalisto. Now, I have so many questions here. Isn't the draft supposed to be a shakeup with new rosters? Michael Cole said last night that this draft is going to change the landscape of WWE. It's going to change the landscape of Raw and SmackDown. Correct me if I'm wrong, but how are you changing the landscape if you're taking the same superstars who had the same feud on Monday Night Raw with Seth Rollins, Rey Mysterio, Dominic, and Murphy. You're taking them over to Raw, from Raw, and you're putting all of them on SmackDown, and you're going to do the same story you did from Raw to SmackDown. How is that changing the landscape? Are you kidding me? I literally rolled my eyes when I saw Rey and Dominic Mysterio drafted to SmackDown, and I'm like, oh my goodness. They're on the same brand as Seth Rollins, and then this morning we see Murphy, so we get all four of them on the same brand. Awesome. This is a never-ending story with the Mysterios, Seth Rollins, and Murphy. It's absolutely ridiculous. The draft is supposed to have new, fresh, good feuds. I'm not saying neither of these guys are bad. They're all great wrestlers. Dominic, he's still got some training to do, but he's coming into his own. But, my goodness, this is not fresh whatsoever. If anything, we've been seeing this shit for 5 months. 5 months. We've been seeing these guys together. And now they're on the same brand on SmackDown. They were on the same brand on Raw. Now they're on the same brand on SmackDown. And then another problem I got. Well, this one, I really don't have a problem with it at all. They really made the New Day splitting up a big deal. They gave them a farewell match next week on SmackDown and all that. This does not bother me whatsoever. I think the New Day should have split up a very long time ago. A very long time ago. And I think, you can't go back to the same... You can't go back to the same stuff with the New Day. Like, they're going to come back. Kofi and Woods, they won the SmackDown Tag Team titles, which they're on Raw now with the SmackDown Tag Team titles. That's very, very interesting. But now we get a New Day split. I'm okay with it. I'm honestly okay with it. It's going to take a while to get used to, but I think after a while, we'll get used to it. And then breaking up Heavy Machinery. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all whatsoever. They were in a dead tag team division where they had like 4 to 5 tag teams, okay? Shinsuke and Cesaro, the Lucha House Party, the Miz and Morrison, Heavy Machinery. Now you have broken one of those tag teams up, and they were good together. Now they're separated, and now they're going to be failures. Otis has a chance, but at the end of the day, I think he's going to fail as a singles guy. Tucker, forget about it. Otis has always been the guy and Heavy Machinery to Vince McMahon. I don't think Tucker stands a chance by himself. I'm sorry. I don't see Tucker Knight going far as a singles guy. The more sooner rather than later, you'll see him chasing around the 24/7 championship. I guarantee you. Watch. It's coming, folks. It's coming. So, that was night 1 of the WWE draft. If I had to pick a brand winner for the night, I'd probably give it to SmackDown. I'd probably give the victory to SmackDown on night 1, but we'll see what happens. So let's get into the actual show itself. The opening match was Sheamus and Big E in a Falls Count Anywhere match. This was actually a really good Falls Count Anywhere match, if you ask me. They got creative. They didn't stay around the ringside area, which happens in most WWE Falls Count Anywhere matches. They just stay in the ringside arena. They stay in the stage. They don't go out to the parking lot or in the catering area. It's kind of boring. But this match did. This match, they fought around the catering area. Sheamus dumped cake batter onto Big E. He smashed eggs over his head. And then they fought around the catering area into the parking lot where the security entered. And very good stuff. They're brawling around. Sheamus hit a white noise on Big E through the card windshield, and Big E kicked out. Then Sheamus puts Big E in the driver's seat, and he's smashing the car door right on Big E. Smashing the car door onto him. What was I gonna say? He then puts Big E in the backs, in the, like the, all the way in the back where he shut the door. He puts Big E all the way back there, and he tries to shut the door, but Big E blocks him. Big E's standing up. Sheamus misses a bro kick. Then Big E hits a big ending off the car through a table, and that's the way the match ended. Good stuff. Really good Falls Count Anywhere match at the end. Big E did reunite with Kofi and Xavier Woods, and Kofi and Woods said they spoke to management, and tonight they're getting a Smackdown tag team title match against Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. Then we have Jey Uso out in the ring, and he's waiting for Roman Reigns to pick the stipulation for Hell in a Cell. So Paul Heyman's back there, and he says, you don't want to know what Roman has to choose for Hell in a Cell. All you got to know is it's not going to be good for you, Jey Uso. And then Roman pops up and he says, all I tried to do was help you. I wanted to help my own cousin. All you had to do was say that I'm the tribal chief, Us. It did not have to be this way. But we will be inside Hell in a Cell. And it will be an I Quit match. And now you're going to have to say the words, I quit, inside Hell in a Cell for the Universal Championship. I like it. This should be very fun. The storyline has been excellent. I love it. And we'll see where it goes from there. And this is probably, in my opinion, well, we'll see. It could main event Hell in a Cell. We'll find out. Then we got a tag team match between Jeff Hardy and Matt Riddle versus The Miz and Morrison. Really didn't mean much here. Miz and Morrison lost in 8 minutes. Matt Riddle hit the Bro Derek. Then he was celebrating with Jeff Hardy. And then all we hear is the return of Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan. Do you guys remember him? Yeah, he's back. I don't think anybody expected this. But he came out. He demolished Jeff Hardy. He hit a Uranagi on Matt Riddle. And he was beating up Matt Riddle more than he did Jeff Hardy. Then he got to The Miz. And he gave The Miz a Uranagi himself. And Lars Sullivan stood tall. Now, I'm happy that WWE is giving Lars a second chance after what happened the first time he injured himself. And we have not seen him since June of 2019. He's back. And I gotta be honest with you. I don't care. I'm sorry. I just don't care. I don't care. They're doing the same thing they did with him last time, which he comes out, and they haven't beat up random people. It shows me they're gonna have no direction for this guy. They're gonna have no direction for Lars Sullivan on Raw or SmackDown. I'm guessing he's gonna get drafted to SmackDown, but we'll see. I'm guessing his first feud's either going to be with Matt Hardy or Matt Riddle or Jeff Hardy. So we'll see there. And again, I'm glad he's getting a second chance in the WWE. I hope that he does good in this second chance. But at the end of the day, I don't care still. I don't care. I'm sorry. Then we get Sasha Banks versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And 2 minutes into the match, Bayley hit Sasha Banks with a steel chair. I'm sorry, I'm tired still, man. Long night last night. So, Bayley hit Sasha with a steel chair to cause a DQ. Then Sasha attacked Bayley, smacking Bayley with the steel chair, or hitting Bayley with the steel chair, I should say, over the back numerous times. And then she sets up the chair like Bayley did to her. Bayley gets out, and Bayley retreats, gets away, basically. Man, I'm starting with my words today. Then Sasha cuts a promo backstage, and she says Bayley is going to have hell to pay. It'll be Sasha versus Bayley inside Hell in a Cell, and Sasha is going to take the one thing that Bayley loves, and that's the SmackDown Women's Championship. So now we have not one, not two, but 3 Hell in a Cell matches. 3 stories that I'm actually liking, by the way. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. Jey Uso, Roman Reigns in a Hell in a Cell I Quit match for the Universal title. And Sasha Banks Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Do you guys think it's an overkill? Do you think having 3 Hell in a Cell matches at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view is an overkill? If you do, let me know in the comments down below. Then we got the New Day versus Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I didn't care. I knew exactly where this was going. The New Day were going to win the SmackDown Tag Team titles here from Cesaro and Nakamura. They did exactly just that, with Xavier Woods hitting a big elbow to Nakamura to win the tag team titles. And Cesaro and Nakamura, they defeated the New Day to become the tag team champions. So now I ask this. What was the point of taking the SmackDown Tag Team titles? Or why would you take the SmackDown Tag Team titles off the New Day just to put them back on them in a couple months? I hate when WWE does that. AEW did the same thing with Cody, and I criticized that, so I'm going to criticize this right now. If you took the SmackDown Tag Team titles off of the New Day to put them on Shinsuke and Cesaro, why would you just put them back on the New Day? I hate that so much. And then we got to the main event, which I actually thought was a great main event. This was great. Kevin Owens versus The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. This was Bray Wyatt's best match since the strap match against Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. This was very, very good stuff here. I thought the finish was excellent. They had The Fiend demolished Kevin Owens throughout the entire match. Then KO made a little comeback. 3 super kicks to The Fiend. A cannonball splash to the corner. 2 cannonball splashes to the corner. And then The Fiend put the mandible claw in on Kevin Owens for a little bit. Owens hit the stunner with the Fiend's mandible claw still in Kevin Owens' mouth. And The Fiend just continues the mandible claw. Then Kevin Owens passes out. And Bray Wyatt wins the match. Then the lights go out. And all you see is The Fiend staring down Alexa Bliss. He stares down at Alexa Bliss. He looks at Kevin. They both look at Kevin Owens. Then they look back at each other. And that's the way that Smackdown ends. That's the way that show ended. I thought that was a great main event between Kevin Owens and Bray Wyatt. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your Smackdown review here on the Big Fight Field channel on this Saturday afternoon. I want to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into the review. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel. Let's try to get to 230 subscribers before Monday's Raw. Comment down below what you thought of night 1 of the draft and Smackdown, the show itself. I thought it was a fine show overall. Not great, but not horrible as well. So I thought it was fine. Hit that like button if you like what I had to say. Follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. And I will see you guys on Monday with a double upload. Yes, I'm having a double upload on Monday in the afternoon. I'm going to be bringing you my top 10 AEW Dynamite matches in their first year. I'm so excited to do that. Then we're going to get Raw on Monday, NFL Week 6 predictions on Tuesday, the AEW Anniversary Show on Wednesday, NXT on Thursday, and then wrap up the week with Smackdown. I'm getting out of here, guys. Have a good day and stay safe.